Never forget that the United States was built on stolen land with stolen people who were massacred and brutalized.
USA is officially satanic now, and this is what I need to show you. Laura Loomer posted this on X, and she's actually saying that alligator lives matter and that they will have 65 million meals now if they start now. So why does she say 65 million meals? Let's take a look at the Latino population in the United States, and what do we see? It's roughly 65 million people. So Laura Loomer is insinuating that they want to get rid of Latinos by feeding them to the alligators, basically. And since alligator Alcatraz is all over the news right now with its comparisons to concentration camps and disgusting way of holding people, do we even wonder anymore that our government has reached an all-time low now in hatred, vileness, disgusting, filthy rhetoric? I don't even know what to say anymore, guys, because it's become so horrible. It's just insane. I want to tell you, MAGA Christian, you cannot make an excuse anymore. You are without excuses. You are absolutely without excuses. You have to draw the line somewhere. You have to.
Laura Loomer said that the 65 million Latinos in this country should be food for alligators. Never forget that Laura Loomer said that alligator Alcatraz would create 65 million meals for alligators. Now, you might think it's a joke, but they fed our babies to alligators, and they thought it was so funny that they put it on candy boxes, they put it on tobacco boxes, they put it on coffee cans, they put it on soap boxes. But the reason why black and brown people can't fight to win a future where we are truly liberated is because we are programmed. There are four walls that block in the minds of black and brown people, and we've been at this a whole lot longer than y'all, so let me tell you what they are. We've been programmed to worship white folks, to objectify women, to fear going to hell, and to value money over all else. Now, I'm talking to the black and the brown people because with white folks, half of them are racist and half of them are playing the wait and see game. It's not affecting them, so they're like, let's see how this goes. Worshiping white people means we'll always find a reason to justify what it is that they do. And so you have a white God, white Jesus, white angels, white saint. It puts the idea in your mind that white is right.
A top Trump advisor just called for the genocide of all Latinos and his...
Hey, shalom, shalom. All right, call halal, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAWCHAA, QADASH. That's giving our praise to the Most High. And he was only begotten Son. In the name of the Holy Spirit. All right, double honors to our teachers, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who taught us his truth and sincerity, peace and salutations to the hopeful scattered abroad. Shalom, 144,000. It's gonna be a, I'm trying to make this kind of quick, but through the Spirit, because this whole thing about these cargo planes dropping, the so-called illegal immigrants out the back of them, and bodies being found shackled together, and now you got Trump advisors talking, laughing and joking, pretty much making a mockery, and even Homeland Security, their Instagram, as you see in the thumbnail, they posted about the alligators. All right, Trump talking about making more of these concentration camps, really what they are. And as all this is going on, we're warning our people of a time called Jacob's trouble. Okay, a time called Jacob's trouble, which scripturally is a time where you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indians will be persecuted beyond anything like ever in history. Okay, this is going to be a time worse than any time in history. And the punishments, the destruction, the death that's coming to our people is going to be, a biblical proportion. Okay, so these warnings that has been going out, starting with our head elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down, if they went on deaf ears, now you about to, as they say, F around and find out. Okay, so these Edomites, as I heard the beloved elder Manasseh, he was going into it about how Esau is sharpening the sword right in front of everybody. They're telling you it's not going to be for you. But the whole time, they creating these concentration camps for you, okay? Not just the so-called illegals. They're coming for all of us. All right, so let's grab this real quick. This is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 33. It says, "And thus saith Yahawah of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together." And we've been oppressed in this country, man. Okay, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Indians have been oppressed together. When you go into the ghettos, when you go into the hoods, you're going to see so-called Negroes and so-called Hispanics being oppressed together. The neighborhood I grew up in, you know, the damn hood, Jake was oppressed together, and it was you saw the Latin tribes, you saw Jake, and it was always together. We was working together, we was, you know, communicating, friends, you know. But the point is, we was in, you know, those ghettos, those hoods together. Okay, we are in this land, in the land of our captivity together. Okay, so when Esau comes down with this wrath that he's gonna come upon all of us together. Okay, it says, all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. And Esau, he's not going to give you, you know, boat ships back to Africa. He's not going to give you, you know, plane as we're finding out. He's not even sending people back to their country. He's sending them, you know, to other countries, to, you know, the Guantanamo Bay, or whether it be you know, this El Salvadorian prison, or they just drop them off in the middle of the ocean. They just drop people off in the middle of the ocean. Okay, all these things are coming out, which is just gonna make, you know, people start rousing up against this devil. Okay, but so yeah, I want to play something right here that this individual said. He said something heavy, because another thing too is a lot of, you know, you Latin tribes, you came into America trying to be, you know, act like the Edomites. You thought that Esau cared about you. You thought you was white. Well, come to find out you're not. Okay, you getting your nigga wake up call. All right, they hate all of us. In the eyes of the so-called white man, Esau, Edom, we are all niggas. Okay, they hate all of us together. So that's what's happening right now. And a lot of times the Latin tribes, they'll try to separate themselves from Jake. Okay, but the Lord said, nah, we the same people. Okay, so what's happening too as Judah get roused up, because Judah gonna get roused up, the other tribes are gonna join in. Okay, and it's gonna be on and popping. It's gonna be complete madness out here in America, man. Okay, and these you know, Trump and, you know, the elites, they're setting the perfect stage. Okay, everybody's tense right now. Everybody feel like something coming. Within the next couple of months, this country can be in a completely different, you know, state. You know, let's play some more.
Said that the 65 million Latinos in this country should be food for alligators. Never forget that Laura Loomer said that alligator Alcatraz would create 65 million meals for alligators. Now, you might think it's a joke, but they fed our babies to alligators, and they thought it was so funny that they put it on candy boxes, they put it on tobacco boxes, they put it on coffee cans, they put it on soap boxes. But the reason why black and brown people...
And we was going into that camp, you know, this past week, how these Edomites, you know, they still have some of them family heirlooms where they was passing that stuff down. You know, I've seen videos where, you know, Jake will be a caregiver working in, you know, some Edomite house, and they'll, you know, go into a room or the attic or whatever, they got to go to get something. They'll see a whole box or a whole area full of, you know, little, you know, trinkets and souvenirs from slavery times, from, you know, Jim Crow, from oppression, from, you know, different, you know, illustrations and pictures of Jake with red lips and dark skin and eating watermelon, just racist shit, showing you that we are put here for a reproach and for a curse. Okay, you wasn't put here to prosper in America. And a lot of these other tribes, not just the Latin tribes, but even Benjamin and Levi, you come to this country thinking that you're gonna get a fucking American dream, and then they try to step all over Judah, talking shit against Judah, and you come to find out that we all in the same boat. That you coming to find out exactly what Judah had to find out. I've been in this country for, you know, 400 years or whatever, man. Okay, we are behind enemy lines. You dealing with the devil. All right, let's grab this right here. It says Ezekiel chapter 35, verse I'm gonna read all this. It says, verse 1, it says, moreover, the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. And one thing about it, Esau got it where Jake is setting face against each other. You know, the rap music and the da-da-da-da, all the shit they got promoting on you know, in this world is to pit Jake against each other. You know, brown versus black, black versus black, brown versus brown, whatever you want to call it. All right, but that's, you know, the devil being the devil. Really, we're supposed to be set our faces against Esau and looking at this devil like, yo, it's you. You did this. You're the problem. Okay? It says, and prophesy against it. Say unto it, thus saith the Lord, YAHAWASHI, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee. I will stretch out mine hand against thee. I will make thee most desolate. So the Lord is going to destroy these Edomites, okay? Mount Seir is symbolic for these Edomites. The Lord going to destroy these devils, and they know it. So with them knowing they have a short time, they're about to start lashing out. We're going to grab that. It says, I will lay thy cities waste, oh, Salakia. Yep. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHWASHI. And America's going to be laid waste, okay? Europe, okay, you know, well, not Europe, Israel, okay? America and Israel is going to be utterly destroyed with thermonuclear missiles. Europe, Italy, you know, whatever. Wherever them Edomites at, that's going to get taken, man, okay? You ain't going to be inhabiting the earth for much longer. You ain't going to be able to call the shots and deport who you want and throw who you want on the back of cargo planes, man, okay? But all this stuff is circulating in the internet, you know, in the news right now, because the Lord is giving you, Jakes, the signs. Like I went into earlier about the signs. You got to pay attention to the signs. Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHWASHI is giving us signs that time is short. Okay, measure thou the time diligently in itself. Okay, it says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. So Esau has had a perpetual hatred, which means an everlasting hatred. Okay, from the beginning, they hate you, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Indians. So now they're gonna start showing it. Okay, now they're gonna start showing it. It says, therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHWASHI, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sith thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee, right? Because they love blood. This man is bloodthirsty. For you to be snatching people up off the street, talking about you ain't supposed to be in this country, and it's just taking them back, because a lot of them countries were saying, nah, you can't bring them back. They said, okay, well, we can just drop them off in the middle of the ocean. You know? Showing you the lack of concern and care Esau has for you tribes. This man is a devil the Bible speaks of. They don't give a damn. And the Lord is putting that old Edomite spirit back into these Edomites, man. This is why when you go on these particular posts, the comment section is full of redneck Edomites talking cash shit, letting you know how they really feel about you. You got to wake up to it and smell the coffee. These people are getting ready to make war against you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Indians. This is why we're going to need each other, you know? This is why the Lord is creating a body. Okay, he has a body of believers that's coming together all over the world. Okay, hey, brothers have never met each other, and hey, this is something that I experienced the other day. You know, brothers maybe meet on the internet and never met each other in person. Then when we meet in person, like, damn, hey, the Lord drew us together. I would have never met you if it wasn't for this truth, more than likely. Okay, but that's for what? For Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHWASHI to bring forth what? As he's building up the house of David. Because everybody else here is going to die. Okay? Everybody else here in America is going to die. All right? That's why, they talk about reinforcing, the border wall. There's actually a wall at the border. That shocked me, too, when they was talking about it. They was building it, and I'm thinking, like, okay, maybe they're going to never complete it. They actually completed it. Now they're going to reinforce it to make it where you really can't come in or come out. And this place, America's basically going to be a prison camp. This is why they're making concentration camps all over America, right in your face, bragging about it. Right in your face, bragging about it. The Homeland Security page, a Twitter page, bragging about it. Alligators wearing ICE, paraphernalia, man. All right. So let's see. Reading on, it says, "Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate. I will cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth, and I will fill his mountains with his slain men, and his hills, like and in thy hills, and in thy valleys, and in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword." So a lot of you Edomites are going to be destroyed. All right, a lot of you Edomites got hell to pay for the old and the new. That's why he said, and the scriptures say that too, which Esau said in his heart, "When the days of mourning for my father are at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob." This has been in his heart this whole time. This is why I said a perpetual hatred, because his mind is still in that ancient spirit of slaying his brother Jacob, which are you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Indians, man. Okay, that's who the Lord is concerned with. That's who the Lord is dealing with. All right, Jake. And Esau, that's who he's targeting. All right. But yeah, let me play some more.
Can't fight to win a future where we are truly liberated is because we are programmed. There are four walls that block in the minds of black and brown people, and we've been at this a whole lot longer than y'all, so let me tell you what they are. We've been programmed to worship white folks, to objectify women, to fear going to hell, and to value money over all else. Now, I'm talking to the black and the brown people because with white folks, half of them are racist and half of them are playing the wait and see game. It's not affecting them, so they're like, let's see how this goes. Worshiping white people means we'll always find a reason to justify what it is that they do. And so you have a white God, white Jesus, white angels, white saint. It puts the idea in your mind that white is right.
A top Trump advisor just
And
called
that's
for
why
the
they gave
genocide.
you Christianity. Jake's still celebrating Christianity. That's why they gave you Christianity, so that it puts the ideal in your mind that white is right. So you worship your oppressor, you trust your oppressor, and then before you know it, your oppressor got knives in your back. Okay? Never trust. Scripture says never trust thine enemy. Okay? Because they're gonna show you. You had the Jakes, these Jakes when Trump got elected, you had Northern Kingdom up there, advocating for him, saying Latino for Trump, Latinos for Trump. And that same woman got deported. He kicked her out. Showing you that they will use you. They will use and abuse you and then toss you to the curb like you never even matter, like you never exist. All right? So, don't ever get to that point where you think that this devil is just, he cares about you. No, this man is a devil. You cannot forget who's the devil. The devil is going to be the devil. So he doesn't care about you. This is why they dropping people off in the middle of the ocean, allegedly. Okay? But it's no surprise to us. We know who this devil is. We have identified, the wicked in the earth. All right, through the spirit of YAHAWASHI. Through the spirit of YAHAWASHI, man. All right, let's play some more.
Of all Latinos and Hispanics living in the U.S. This is Laura Loomer, a Trump ally and top advisor, and this is what she said a couple hours ago. Alligator lives matter. The good news is alligators are guaranteed 65 million meals if we get started now. She is of course referring to Alligator Alcatraz, a new concentration camp that was just built in Florida. But here's the thing, she's not saying 65 million undocumented people. She's saying 65 million people, period. And lo and behold, just by coincidence, there's 65 million Latinos and Hispanics in the U.S. This just goes to show you that it was never about going after criminals or doing it the right way. They just don't like us. And this is for you Latinos for Trump. We all know that you desperately want to fit in. We all know that you desperately want to be accepted by them. But they don't want you. You're included in this. They're talking about
I told you. What I just told you. They don't give a fuck about you. What did Michael Jackson say? They don't really care about us. He was talking about us, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Indians, the tribes. They don't really care about us. Stop. You gotta get it out of your head. The government care. No, they don't care. All people know, they all bad. Okay? They all bad. None of them care about you. And in the end, they always gonna cross you over.
denaturalizing people, deporting U.S. citizens, Latinos for Trump. Guys, they just don't want us, period. These are the things that Trump advisors and the people in Trump circles say online. Imagine the things they say behind closed doors. But there you have it, guys, especially Latinos for Trump. They don't want us. But anyways, let me know what you guys think.
You ready for your daily dose of psychopathy? Well,
Let's
As
bring
Trump
that back.
advisors and the people in Trump circles say online.
Hey, and this is just from Arrows of Indignation.
Latinos for Trump, guys.
Arrows from Indignation 144. Okay, Jacob Trouble is not real. Well, you better think again. If this don't change your mind, nothing will. Because you got Jake saying that Jacob Trouble ain't real. Okay. Listen, I mean, we ain't concerned with a nigga that. If a nigga can't get it, we moving on. Okay, if you can't see what's coming, then you blind as a bat. Okay, and you in the dark. All right, but through the spirit, man, hey, boy, you can't make this up. You can't make this up. And through the spirit of YAHAWASHI, everything that the prophets have been saying is going to play out. Okay, everything that the men of the Lord have been saying is going to play out on this earth. Let's play this back.
And this is what she said a couple hours ago. Alligator lives matter. The good news is alligators are guaranteed 65 million meals if we get started now. She is of course referring to Alligator Alcatraz, a new concentration camp that was just built in Florida. But here's the thing, she's not saying 65 million undocumented people. She's saying 65 million people, period. And lo and behold, just by coincidence, there's 65 million Latinos and Hispanics in the US. This just goes to show you that it was never about going after criminals or doing it the right way. They just don't like us. And this is for you, Latinos for Trump. We all know that you desperately want to fit in. We all know that you desperately want to be accepted by them. But they don't want you. You're included in this. They're talking about ending birthright citizenship, denaturalizing people, deporting U.S. citizens. Latinos for Trump, guys, they just don't want us, period. These are the things that Trump advisors and the people in Trump circles say online. Imagine the things they say behind closed doors.
Imagine the things they say behind closed doors. And they say a lot of stuff behind closed doors about you, Jakes, man. Okay? That's why you might be slipping up saying little racist shit. Or they'll blatantly say it to your face. If they say little slick shit to your face, man, imagine what they saying behind your back. Okay, this is Ecclesiasticus chapter 14. And you know that if you've been around any Edomites, I remember I had Edomite friends growing up, man. I was like cool with their families and stuff, been around them, you know, spending the night at their houses and stuff. And they'll say little slick shit, bro. Okay, but I'm thinking, I always think, damn, they say this shit like to my face while I'm here. Like, imagine what they saying behind my back. Okay, so you can never trust these devils. It says Ecclesiasticus or Sirach chapter 14, verse 7. And if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly. Right, they let you come into this country for a particular, period of time. And all some so-called doing good people think, oh yeah, they letting us in. Yeah, he doeth it unwillingly. He ain't want to let you in. But he doing it for his own purpose so he can bring forth his enterprise. This is why Trump, this guy talking about, he have what these migrants are wearing, ankle monitors and bracelets and stuff. This is all going to be a means to bring in that MOTB and establish that MOTB as well. All right? It says, and at the last, he would declare his wickedness. So, hey, at the end of all this devil going to show you he's still the wicked. He's still the devil. Okay? He's still the devil. Who will pity a charmer who was bitten by a serpent, man? Ain't nobody going to pity you because you put your trust in this man. Okay? And those of us that dealt with him long enough, we know this devil. For the tribes that's been here long enough, we'll tell you, hey, we know this devil. But people come here, fresh off a plane or whatever, and they think that, it's peaches and cream over here. People actually thought America was, paved with the streets were paved with gold. That's the propaganda and the idea America pushed to the rest of the world. And they come over here and find out otherwise. Let's play some more.
But there you have it, guys, especially Latinos for Trump. They don't want us. But anyways, let me know what you guys think.
You ready for your daily dose of psychopathy? Well, early afternoon dose. Latinos for Trump, pay attention to this one. Laura Loomer, world's most fascist mistress, tweeted this. This was in reference to Alligator Alcatraz, or crocodile concentration camp. If you're unfamiliar, is a detention center they've been building in Florida surrounded by alligator-infested marshes, or what?
Hey, You know, and they said they built that alligator Alcatraz in 2 weeks, man. Okay. So they got all this money, and I seen the video about it today. I can't remember where it came from, who said it, but somebody was saying they don't have no money to feed you, baby, but they got money to kill you. Okay, they got money to, you know, they gonna figure that out. All right, they can't figure out how to feed people, how to take care, you know, do this and do that, but they'll figure out how to, you know, get rid of you quick.
Whatever. They're very excited about the alligators. Clearly. So excited that Laura Loomer even tweeted this. And by the way, it's still up a couple days later.
Proud.
Alligator lives matter. The good news is alligators are guaranteed at least 65 million
Which,
meals if we get...
Salakia, that alligator lives matter thing, she said, that's a spinoff of the whole Black Lives Matter thing. We're showing you how the whole thing ties in. It's all against you tribes. We in the same boat, man. Okay? We came here on slave, and we was literally on the same slave ships. So now we here in America, we in the same boat, okay, and got the same devil, the same enemy. All right, a common foe. We have a common foe. We have a common enemy. All right, and once you identify that this man is a devil, the enemy, we can move accordingly. All right.
Started now. Wow. I think this response summarizes it perfectly. I don't care what anyone says. I appreciate when y'all drop the Christian act and reveal your seething, unhinged hatred for everything Christ ever said. Well put. But here's the thing. As if it weren't bad enough to be this gleeful at the idea of feeding people to alligators, people. Humans. She's also revealed something else in this tweet. There aren't even 65 million undocumented immigrants in this country. Even according to the American Immigration Council, there's only around 13.3 million undocumented immigrants total, and that includes protective status. So, 65 million. Does she mean all immigrants? No, because according to the latest census, there were only 47.8 million immigrants residing in the United States as of 2023. 65 million. What could she be referring to? Oh, that's right. The entire Hispanic population in the United States. 65 million. Almost on the dot. Wow. And apparently we're all getting fed to alligators.
Hey, man, I'm gonna see what's up with this, too.
The Simpsons warned us about the California wildflowers, but now their newest
Let me see, bear with me 1 second. Okay. Oh, yeah, I'll come back to this, Lord will. Let's go back over here, though. But, yeah, man, and that just go to show you that Esau's hatred is real, bro, because in the gradualism, you know, first it was about the criminals. Then they start going to job sites and construction sites and restaurants, and, you know, and then now it's 65 million are all the so-called Latinos in America. So that shows you their hatred is real. They don't give a damn about, you know, you, us. They don't care. And they gonna show you that. Let's grab this right here first, too, before I play this. All right. Let's grab this. This is as Psalms chapter 55, verse 21. It says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. So war is in this man's heart. He speak with smooth words about how this is to help the country. And, you know, he had you out there voting for him. Latinos for the Trump! Latinos for the Trump! They was going crazy for Trump, man. They was going crazy for Trump. Two months later, he coming to get you out your house and seeing you across the street. I saw a video, and it was sad as hell. It was sad, bro. I felt bad, but it was a video where it was a whole street or whatever of Issachar. They had like a whole, you know, a whole neighborhood or whatever where they live, which it, you know, that you have that down here. They got whole neighborhoods where it's majority Northern Kingdom. Okay, and they always packing up and leaving. You know, they always packing up and going back home. All right, packing up their trucks and just leaving, man. All right. So it's, hey, man, it says, Psalm 55, verse 21, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords, right? So this man, he come with the soft words. He speak as a lamb, okay, but is as a dragon, okay? He'll come and that's why Trump talks like that. He talks very, and I guarantee you, he was trained that way to talk like that. Where he talks very smooth. Yeah, you know, I can't talk like him, but he talks very smooth because he's pulling the the wool over your eyes. He's it's all deception. They're the devil. Okay, the biggest thing about being the devil is to deceive. They're deceiving. So they'll put on a show like they care about you, they love you, and they'll put on a sad face. The whole time they don't give the slightest bit of a fuck. It says, "Cast thy burden upon Yahawah, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved." So we got to cast our burden upon Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Put our full trust in Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, because you put your trust in Esau, you trust in the shadow of Egypt, you're going to be put to death. You're going to be led astray. You're going to be put, in the grave. They're not playing. Remember, years back, 5, 6, 7 years ago, man, they had all them videos circulating of them black coffins. What you think they did with those? They still got them things posted up somewhere. I put up a short the other day about how they had tanks in LA. They was hiding tanks in the middle of the city. All right, and you can bet they doing that. They've already done that all around these cities. In all these major cities, they done set aside some tanks and Humvees and everything they need for when shit pop off. They can be on your streets in 5 minutes. All it takes is some FF that happens, and they gonna be on your streets in 5 minutes. What the hell? How they already get out here? They already blocking off streets. They already, and then welcome to a police state. All right. I think that was it on that. Let's play this video. I got a few more videos and we'll close out. Let's see. Let's do this.
I feel fucking sick right now. We all know they've been loading immigrants onto planes and deporting them. But what I just learned is they've been shackling their hands and feet and putting them onto these military cargo planes that have the capability to open that back door mid-flight. 5 bodies shackled at the...
You know what I think about that too? Is they show you that in all the movies, man. All the movies, they show you a cargo plane and then that the hatch happens to fall down and open up and people just holding on to stuff so they don't, they don't fall out. It's like in I ain't gonna say every movie, but a lot of these movies they showing you a scene like that, because I like them little action movies and sci-fi and stuff. They always showing you a scene like that where they're in the cargo plane and they open up the back of the helicopter and people are flying out the back of it. So this is not all far-fetched. This is all predictive programming. They're showing you what they do. You had a thing called the Dirty War, okay? Well, it'll be those Argentina where they was, doing the same thing. People are tracking these planes and they literally flying off the coast, going into the ocean and circling and doing a U-turn. They opening the back of the doors and dropping the hatch and doing a U-turn and coming right back. That's the wickedness of this devil. And it's probably people that are like, real serious gang members or people who, people are not, who nobody's looking for. Who's not going to be accounted for, and whose country probably don't want them. So they say, hey, well, you ain't just finna sit here and cause problems in here. Nah, Esau the devil, he don't give a damn, man. He does not care. And that's what you people about to really come to realize.
Washed up near Mallorca, Spain. Recently, there has been a drastic increase in flight of these planes, and their flight path goes just into international waters.
Then they turn around.
I feel fucking sick right now. We all know they've been
Excuse
loading
the
immigrants
language.
onto planes and deporting them.
Let me see. Let's play some of this.
Breaks.
reason I'm sharing this, however, is because we are living in a time when we cannot afford to be naive.
Right. And that's the thing. A lot of people are very naive, man. A lot of people are very naive, especially our people. You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Indians are very, very naive. You think it's sweet, man. Okay? It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. Snap out of it. This country is, it's like the ground is collapsing underneath you. And if you don't do something, you're going to collapse with it. This is Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So this devil is in your face, building death camps, and oh no, it's not for you, it's for them. It's not for you, it's for them. And then you hearing all these stories about what they got, incinerators. they got caught dropping bodies in the ocean. They said, okay, we gotta do something different. Okay, next week, incinerators. Oh, they have incinerators. Like what's going on, man? And then all this stuff is getting out for us to see and hear, and you know, it's like they priming you for something. They because all gonna come to a point where this is all gonna happen. The scripture says, the Lord says, he shall make his words known unto you. So everything that's written in his Bible is going to become a reality. Okay, it's going to become a reality. So that's why they're talking about they got incinerators now. The week, a day after all this stuff started coming out about them, the bodies being found with shackles on them, literally the next day, first thing I see on Instagram, oh, they got incinerators. I'm like, come on, man. What's going on? But if you don't know what's going on by now, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. The Lord told us what exactly is about to happen. All hell is about to break loose. We're coming into the worst time in history. Let's bring that back. It says, for the devil shall come is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. In the NLT it says, but terror will come on the earth and the sea, for the devil has come down to you in great anger. They pissed off. Okay, it shall come like madmen, sparing none. They don't care about women, children, elderly. They don't care. When this thing go down, it's gonna go down. Then this is the last time for this. This is the last hoorah for Esau, man. So the Lord gonna make it special. It says, knowing that he has a little time. Yeah, he know his time is short. All right. To lock in. These days are just speeding up. So with these days speeding up, Esau seeing his time is short, he's going to spaz out. He's going to get sporadic. What's going to be like one day, nigga just going to start going crazy. And that's when we going to know. People saying there's no such thing as Jacob's trouble. Jacob's trouble already happened. You going to know when you're in Jacob's trouble, okay? You going to know when you're in Jacob's trouble. And how you going to know? Because it's going to be bullets flying over your head, all right? People screaming and bleeding to death, in front of you. Yeah. It's gonna be a serious time, man. Yeah, all right. You people gonna get some sleep, okay? You gonna get some good sleep.
To directly connect these two
Let's play
stories.
this.
These are two unrelated stories. The reason I'm sharing this, however, is because we are living in a time when we cannot afford to be naive.
People are very naive.
We're living in a time when we need to pay attention. And changes have been made to our government that cause it to not be doing its job. Firing of inspectors general. Purging the highest ranks of our military officers. Preventing.
Yeah, a lot of this DEI thing where they, fired a lot of people who supposed to watch for storm. That's why the whole flood thing happened. They said they ain't get no alerts. Nobody's watching, for the missiles that's about to hit because they done got fired. This country is completely in shambles. So it's only a matter of time before things just spiral completely out of control. Lord, when you got people can hear it.
members of Congress from performing their oversight duties. So what you have here is you have one story that migrants in the
This
United
guy,
States,
the poop manager, and I'm not gonna give you too much attention, my man. This guy, the poop manager, says, the poop manager, you are out of your mind. You think that's the first time we heard that? Get a job. You think that's the first time we heard that? I work probably more than you poop manage. All right. This is why I'm tired. Okay, but we still got work to do for the Lord. But guys like the poop manager are going to be, just scoffing. All right, which that's prophecy too. Scripture says in the last days they shall come scoffers, walking after their own lust. So this individual right here, he's thinking that this scoffing and mocking on this page is going to save him from the impending death and destruction that's coming for him. It's not. You're going to die, you and your whole family, and then you can manage poop as you become fertilizer. All right. People think it's a game until it's not funny anymore. Everything is a joke until it's not funny anymore. All right. So yeah, there you go. You got your little 5 minutes of shine. Now go back to the shithole you crawled out of.
have been routinely shackled, the waist, wrists, ankles, and loaded onto cargo planes. Not just cargo planes, but cargo planes with the rear doors that can open mid-flight. Completely separate story. 5 corpses with their hands and feet bound have been found floating in the sea off the coast of Majorca. And since January, 31 bodies have been recovered there.
And that's just the bodies that they're telling us.
Again,
It could be more bodies. Imagine the bodies that got eaten by sharks or whatever. Listen, it might have been, it's at 30, it might have been 300 bodies. All right. But Esau won't come out and tell you that, So, hey, just know that this is going on and it's only going to get worse. They're already bragging about making more of these camps in South Carolina, North Carolina. They're going to be all across the country. You already have these FEMA centers. These Walmarts, they're going to turn into FEMA camps. But then they're going to have, these, specialized death camps where people just, it's a complete meat grinder. All right. It's going to be a complete meat grind. People going to be going in there alive and coming out dead. All right. Coming out with no head. This is the time we're coming into. The Lord warned us of this time. All right. It's going to be serious.
To have these two stories directly connected. But we cannot be so naive as to think that things don't happen. I very much would like to know how it is that people are ending up floating up on beaches in the Mediterranean, shackled. This article here suggests that they're believed to be migrants who are attempting to travel the dangerous route from Algeria to Spain by. I don't. What migrants travel in shackles?
Right.
That's something I very much do not understand. What do you mean that they're believed to be migrants who are attempting to travel the dangerous route from Algeria to Spain by boat?
They're trying to cover it up.
So, this is one story. This is another. The other part of not being naive that I want to pay attention to. So, you have to ask yourself, and I know there are a bunch of people out there who are ready to jump in and say, oh, no, it's more efficient to transport people by cargo planes. No, it's not. No, it's more economical and more efficient to use passenger planes for people, for passengers. You can get more people on the planes. They are more cost effective. Cargo planes are not cost effective. So forget about that argument. So then why do you do it? Well, maybe they're doing it to create fear, to create a sense of terror.
That's another thing.
Another concern.
That's a great point, because it is this create a sense of fear and terror. This is why Esau is allowing these things to leak out, to create a sense of fear and terror. Because why? They're going to ultimately make it where they want to put the fear in you to where you take the MOTB, where you denounce the YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, and comply to this beast system. So it's definitely about the fear. They definitely want to put fear in you. This is why a lot of stuff too, you know, a lot of this stuff is just, theatrics, man. Everything, a lot of things you see on TV. I don't even watch the news. Okay, I look into ulterior news, but the mainstream media, no, because it's all theatrics. But it's to get a certain reaction out of you. Not to mention that it's witchcraft. They doing they literally putting spells on you on, Fox News 9 or whatever, 5 o'clock in the morning, you know. They're putting spells on you. This is why they color coordinate a certain way. So when they do that, they're trying to get a certain reaction out of you because, energy is serious, So as they pushing this news out, they want to get a particular energy. They want to push out a certain narrative that causes a certain energy to be manifested inside you. All right, so people get all afraid and scared and shaken up, and they don't think straight. So when this thing does come, they control you. They got you. It's we was going into. I was talking to one of the brothers about that. One of the brothers. I think I was talking to the brother Barack, GMS Temple Camp. What do? They try to they got to break you down. They what we were saying. They do that in the military, okay, and they do that in these these torture camps and stuff, man. Or when somebody's being interrogated or something, they torture you. They have particular ways to torture you. So they're just doing that on a mass scale to all the people. Okay, that's why they did the C-19. That was a whole social experiment to see how people react to this, see how people react to that, to see what they can get away with. All right, before they actually come down with the real hammer. It says Revelation chapter 12 verse 17. It says, and the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of Yahawashi and Mashiach. So the dragon was wroth, which means angry, with the woman, which is the woman is symbolic for Israel. Okay, you tribes. The so-called white man is making war with you tribes. Okay, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Indians. And if you didn't realize that by now you know. If you didn't know, now you know. Hey, I remember when the C9 thing happened. It was a news broadcasting. I can't find this thing nowhere anymore. And I probably did a video on it a while back, but they took so many channels down. It was a newscasting when the C9 thing was going on, and there was people protesting in front of the camera. But the news is all. They might have literally paid those people to stand there and hold those signs up. But one of the persons in the crowd on the news, they had a sign that read, "We coming for you blacks and Hispanic, you blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians first." Okay? We coming for you blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans first. That's what the sign says, something along those lines. So they letting you know. They telling you, yeah, Esau gonna tell you what he gonna do. You just gotta be paying attention. All right? Let's read this in the NLT. It says, Revelation chapter 12, verse 17, and the dragon was angry at the woman and declared war against the rest of her children. So Esau has declared war upon our people, and they're unaware. They're unbeknownst. They have no idea. If somebody declares war against you, you have no idea what's coming. That means at any moment an attack can come, and you'll never see it coming. All right? It says, all who keep the Most High's commandments and maintain their testimony for Yahawashi. Right, so they're coming for the elect. All right? They already got 2/3. 2/3 are done. They really want to come for the men of the Lord. Okay? The believers, the ones who are, friends, okay, of Yahweh Hashem Yahawashi. The ones who know Yahweh Hashem Yahawashi. Because Esau hates Yahweh Hashem Yahawashi. He's going to start showing that more and more.
Maybe they're doing it to condition. Both to
condition
people who get loaded onto planes to think this is normal, this is just how we do it, don't worry about this, and to condition those of us who are watching. So that when you've got somebody like me who raises concerns, I'm made to look foolish. You know, hey, why are you worrying about that? There's nothing really going
You
on.
hear
It's
it? Yo,
just the way we do
you
it.
can't make this up.
Conditioning us to think.
You can't make this up. He said this is conditioning for the people outside here, and then people are saying, yo, why are you doing this? This guy literally on my comment board was just doing that. That guy's an agent, man. This guy's an agent. Let's look at this. Listen to yourself. Yeah. Get a job. You're out of your mind. Haha, the missiles? Schizophrenic. You know, they put detractors like this on the comment board to try to keep people asleep, try to keep people, you know, confused, lost. And his name is the Poop Manager. So if you take advice from a guy who calls himself the Poop Manager, then you deserve what you get. Okay? You deserve what you get, man. But everything he just said right there was literally what just happened. It's all conditioning, and there's a you know, a whole, and a part of that conditioning is there's a whole, you know, department to control the narrative. You saw he's doing his wickedness behind the scenes, but then he has a whole other department where he wants to control the narrative for all the wickedness that he is doing. All right, isn't that wicked? But that's because we're dealing with the wicked.
Me who raises concerns, I'm made to look foolish. You know, hey, why are you worrying about that? There's nothing really going on here. It's just the way we do things. It's conditioning us to think it's okay until such time as it's not okay and it's being used for more nefarious purposes. And of course, then we've got our potential worst case scenarios of why this is being done.
These Edomites, see,
We cannot.
let me say this too, man, because Jake is silly, Jake is fools, Jake is simple. These Edomites, they watching, they know what's going on, okay, and they scared as shit. They're scared, man. Look at him, he over there pale as hell, losing sleep, okay, because they don't have no savior. We actually have a savior. All right, the Lord is going to deliver us out of this. Remind me of the movie The Book of Eli, when they was in that house with those cannibals, those old cannibals, and people came and shoot up the house. The girl, she asked Eli's character, she said, because she asked him about the spirit. He said the spirit was speaking to him and guiding him. She asked him, he said, what did the spirit say about this? As they was in the midst of a shootout. She said, what did the spirit say about this? You know, she said, did the spirit tell you about this? That they will be in a shootout, okay? With somebody, they would shoot like a Gatling gun at them, ripping through the house, tearing the house down. It was blown, they was emptying the, listen, they was blown. If you seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But they were shooting the whole house down. So she said, did the spirit say anything about this? And he said, the spirit said that we're going to make it out alive. And then the old people, the cannibals whose house they was at, after they found out they was cannibals, they got into a shootout with somebody else that came up. They said, the old guy said, well, he said, what about us? He said, it didn't mention you, okay? So whoever the elect are, the spirit is going to have it where we make it out of this alive. But everybody else, it didn't mention you, okay? Lord, the Lord is not saving all of America. And he ain't saving all so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians either. Majority of you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Indians in America are going to die. Majority of that 65 million Latinos in America are going to die. Okay? That's just the truth. That's just, it is what it is. All right? Let's play some more. Yeah. I'm ready to close out. So lucky.
Be naive. We cannot stop paying attention. We do not have sufficient government oversight, making sure that more nefarious things don't happen. And extremists have been welcomed, taken into the fold with this current administration. And so even if this current administration is not ordering atrocities,
Hey, you got this big beautiful bill, which they saying is being halted, but it's eventually going to roll out. Um, they were saying how they gave a ridiculous amount of money to ICE. So ICE is going to hire some more people, and it's going to be some cutthroat hillbilly, racist as Edomites, man. You know, and they're gonna be really, like mad. Let me grab that. Let's close up with that. Madman sparing none. All right, because we've all been warned. We've all been warned of what's coming. So there's no excuse. There's no excuse why people don't know. Why people acting like, This is Second Ezra chapter 16, verse. I'll read all this. It says, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. Where are they going to take you at? They're going to snatch you up and put you in one of these prisons. Okay, and feed you with things with idols and things offered unto idols, which is going to be that MOTB. They're going to try to make you take the MOTB, which is really going to be an idol to people, because it's going to be they're going to try to make it seem like it's the answer to all the problems. People are going to take it because they feel like that's going to save them. Okay, Scripture says, they that seek to save their lives shall lose their lives, but they that lose their lives for my name's sake shall save it. So we're not taking that through the spirit of Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. But a lot of these people, they're going to end up taking it. They're going to bow down to this beast system and die anyways. It says, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot. Right. They that consent and take it anyways, you're gonna die anyways. You're gonna still die in America. You're gonna eat a nuke if you survive long enough. You're gonna get blisterous, cancerous sores all over your body from taking that MOTB. It says, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Right, the believers. Okay, the believers, the true believers. Okay. It says, for there shall be in every city and for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Here's the point. They shall be like madmen, sparing none. Okay, because if they doing this, if they grabbing people up and taking them to the detention center and taking them to the plane and yada yada, they gotta feed them, and eventually they're gonna just stop doing all. They're gonna start just shooting them. People are already fighting back, because this whole thing with the Haitians, they talking about the Haitians fighting back, and they trying to deport Haitians, and Haitians is beating up the ICE agents. They're gonna start shooting niggas, bro. They're gonna start gunning you niggas down. And hence Jacob's trouble, hence martial law, hence all hell breaking loose. All right, we're just here to give you the warnings, so you can't say you didn't know what's coming. It says, they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as a gold in the fire. They're going to cast you out your house. You ain't going to be able to sit in your house. They're going to snatch you up, say, hey, you got to come to this detention center. We need to identify you. Okay? It says, hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand. The days of trouble are at hand. And we're warning you of these days of trouble that's coming. Everybody's, talking about it because something is coming. Okay? It says, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for the Most High is your God. And through the Spirit, bro, call HALAL, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH, Brakatah YAHAWAH, Brakatah YAHAWASHI, Brakatah YAHAWAH, Brakatah YAHAWASHI, Brakatah YAHAWAH, Brakatah YAHAWASHI. Because as I'm talking about all this, as we know all this, as we reading all this, as we seeing all this happening, we don't have any fear. I don't have any fear concerning any of this, man, through the Spirit of Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. I know if I wasn't in this truth, if I was in the world, I'll be bugging the hell out. I'll be freaking out. I'll be losing it. I'll be, Okay? But because we have YAHAWASHI, he didn't give us the spirit of fear. We have comfort. We have a way out. Everybody else, not so much. Everybody else don't have YAHAWASHI. Okay? That's it on that. Let's finish this part, and now I'm going to go back to the other video real quick and see what I was talking about.
The extremists that they are in bed with will read between the lines of the things their great leader says and take actions on their own, thinking that they're aligned with the cause.
Right. What kind of American are you? What kind of American are you? Let me show you this too real quick while I'm over here. Look at this, man. This is the judgment of YAHAWASHI. This is
Oh my God.
what was today in New Mexico. This is today in New Mexico. Let's play this. Let me see. 1 second. Bear with me. This computer loaded.
Oh no.
That's somebody's house. Look at that.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Bro. I saw a video like that where it was nighttime. It said it was 4 o'clock in the morning, and there was somebody else filming the neighbor's house, literally washing away. It was still intact, but it was washing away, and you seen people inside with their flashlights moving around as this house was going about at least 3 to 5 miles per hour down, you know, down this water, man. All right. So hey, this is, you know, YAHAWASHI doing these things in the earth. You can't see, like I said earlier, measure the time diligently in itself. Okay? Which there's all this type of videos coming out now saying how this whole, which is, you know, people are coming to realize that all these things that's happening are purposely happening and being done on purpose. They're being orchestrated, you know? People didn't get a warning in time. People didn't get the proper warnings, and, you know, now they're not getting the proper help they need, and it's all according to the plan. That big, beautiful bill said, whenever there's a natural disaster or something, you on your own. We know down here in Florida, it's going to be a hell of a hurricane season this season too, but down here in Florida, bro, if a hurricane come through, your house can have, a tree can go through your house. Okay, your roof can get torn off. Your house can get flooded with 5 feet of water, depending on where you live at. And they'll tell you that you got to pay for it. You got to figure it out. A lot of people went homeless because of this last hurricane that came. So imagine if your house is flowing down a stream of water and the government don't help, you know. Another thing, too, they saying that what happened in Texas, the people, the insurance don't cover them, okay? Some new adjustments to the insurance programs that the home insurance doesn't cover them. Oh, oh yeah. It's the same old song, man. All right. Look at that. Look at the hashtag right here. And it's like it's loading, but it said, the hashtag says trust Trump. It's a hashtag that says trust Trump. Jake trusting in the shadow of Egypt. We'll see how that will play out. Let's go back over here. I want to see what this video is about. Brother posted it. And we'll close out. Salakia. I don't want to make this too long. You know, don't want to go no more than an hour. Don't take up too much of your time, and you can get back to watching the Elders and Apostles. Okay, go watch the Elders and Apostles.
The
Let's play this real
Simpsons
quick.
warned us about the California wildflowers, but now their newest warning is seriously disturbing. Just listen to this.
Great blackout. And no power and no prospects of getting it.
What is it? What is it? We'll never know! Don't worry, kids. The government will help. The government cannot help itself, let alone you.
And you tell me, wasn't Trump just talking about the same exact thing 3 days ago?
And the big problem is we need double the energy we currently have in the United States.
Hey, there was a and they've been talking about this, but they said the government would help. There was a video of a Jake talking to his mother. Shalom, Yahawashi. He was talking to his mother, and he was talking about getting a job and this and that, and she's telling him like, he can't get a job, he can take away her Section 8 and stuff. But something she said that was heavy, very pivotal to me, and I'm gonna have to do a video on that, man. But something she said that was very eye opener. She said the government's here to help us. Okay, and then you have that Ronald Reagan speech where he said that one of the scariest things to hear is I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Okay, that's one of the scariest things to hear, man. All right, but the fact that the black woman said that shows you that Eve is have been completely mind warped by the so-called white man, the serpent. And when this stuff come down the pike, man, these women that don't have a man, they ain't gonna know what to do. They gonna just run down there. 2-year-old, little Tay screaming and whining with a shitty diaper, nappy head, snotty nose, and she running down there. What is it? What I gotta get? What I gotta, to get my food stamps back or my services or get some money? My baby hungry. These niggas gonna go with it, man. You gonna see, we're talking about that too. Talking to some of the brothers after the camp, man. You gonna see your own family, bro. People that you've known all your life going up there and getting it. All right. Let's see.
What is it? What is it? We'll never know! Don't worry, kids. The government will help. The government cannot help itself, let alone you.
And you tell me, wasn't Trump just talking about the same exact thing 3 days ago?
And the big problem is we need double the energy we currently have in the United States. Can you imagine? You don't have to hook into the grid, which is old and, could be taken out. If it's taken out, they wouldn't have any way to get any electricity.
They've been putting this in our faces, even on the biggest stages.
Large blackout affecting the entire or a large portion of the United States. Imagine what that's like. You walk outside, you turn on your phone, there's no signal. You turn on the faucet, no water. Within 3 to 5 days, the food is gone from the grocery stores. We are terrible at listening to warnings about disaster.
Now this man just revealed what the most powerful resource will be when this all goes down.
Electricity is more important than anything after air. It's even more important than water, because if you don't have electricity, you're not going to have water. And human beings need water. They will die after 3 days of not having water.
Clean water will be the most valuable resource when the grid goes down because most people won't have a safe way to get it. And that's exactly why every single person...
A blackout crisis threatens the nation as Americans face a month of outages and hospitals risk deadly shutdowns, prompting urgent calls for action. A blackout...
What's going on, everybody? So nobody's talking about this, but Russia has something out of space, that can knock out the power grid across the whole United States. This satellite that he has out of space is facing the United States. People are, I don't see this on the news. I don't see it, nobody's talking about this. But behind the scenes, there's a lot of stuff going on that people do not know about, The Lord gave me a dream about complete darkness. That's what about the power grid going down. This is the first step before the 3 days of darkness. So at any time, they can hit a switch or something and knock out the power grid across the whole United States, maybe the whole world, who knows? All right, people, listen, I'm telling y'all, it's not the time to be on here taking selfies. People just worried about everything but what's happening.
Vanity.
It's like
people worry about vanity, man. Nah, bro, I don't even take selfies. I don't even take pictures, man. All right, people ain't waiting to because I feel like you get too caught up. You get too caught up in yourself. Okay, you trying to look cute. You ain't gotta look cute. You gotta take 100 pictures just to make sure you get the right one. That's just too much. Anybody got time for that? When I show you there's people they lost. They don't understand what's going on. They don't know what's happening. Okay, they ain't in the right mind. So they're gonna be in fairy tale world, and all of a sudden the lights gonna go out, and these lights gonna go out soon, bro. It could be as soon as next month. It could be, you know, who knows how it's gonna happen. But these lights gonna go out. Once these lights go out, people gonna get desperate. People gonna do whatever they gotta do to survive. And if that means stepping over you and stomping you out, it's gonna be just another Tuesday. All right.
People are blind. They don't care until something happens. Like, they drive. It's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, get into the Word of God and look at what's happening around the world. Okay, it's coming, y'all. The storm is coming. The power grid is about to go out pretty soon. He's about to hit a switch pretty soon. I'm pretty sure. You have Donald Trump talking peace and safety today. You have the floods going on, volcanoes erupting, earthquakes. What more do people need to see? Like, it's time to repent, people, because the kingdom of God is at hand.
And it potentially could only get worse. We have breaking news right now. United States Senator Ron Wyden from Oregon says that his staff has officially confirmed reports that Medicaid portals are now down in all 50 states, following the federal government's decision to implement a federal funding freeze. Essentially, the Medicaid payment system is no longer operable in all 50 states, according to this Oregon senator. This comes as the White House is refusing to comment whether or not Medicaid will be impacted by the federal funding freeze. Medicaid is a critical government-funded program that millions of Americans rely on. That program is coming to a complete halt at 5 p.m., and it really already has over this federal funding freeze, and it potentially could only get worse with more government programs on the chopping block, including childcare, healthcare, food inspections, and so much more. I did a full breakdown on all of the federal programs that could be impacted on my Substack, linked in my bio. I will continue to provide you updates throughout the day as we get more information, so be sure to follow along for all the news you need to know about, both on here and my other social platforms linked in my bio. We have break.
Shalom. Call hello.
All right, this is from the page Raising the Elect 144. It says lights out coming soon to a city near you. You can go watch that video. Yeah, you know, that was the point. I think all the point was, you know, the point was made. I pray it's been edifying to those elect. Double honors to our teachers and elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who taught us his truth and sincerity. Peace and salutations to those elect scattered abroad. Shalom, 344,000. And look at this. It says breaking. 161 people missing after Texas floods, which the death toll is just going up. It's going to continue to rise. Okay, because people missing. 161 people are still missing, which a great portion of people could still be dead. I saw a post before I started this video of two young girls. You know, two little white girls. They was hugging each other, and somebody said the post said how they were found hugging each other close and during their last breath. All right, until the very end, basically. So yeah, the Lord is bringing judgments, man, to say the least, and it's going to increase. Stay prayed up, stay circumspect, stay in the spirit. Shalom, come sure Allah, Baba Ball.